Welcome, everybody, to the show. Joining us is our co-host and fellow traveler, Dan, the Dan Noodles man, the James Dalton of Wargaming. Dan, how's it going?
Fine, thank you.
All right, our topic tonight. Go ahead.
Heathcliff.
Okay. Lord Heathcliff, the Lord Gort of Wargaming. How about that? You like
How's
that?
How's it going, Artie? How's it going with you?
Everything's basically okay. My aunt passed away this past
week. I'm sorry.
That happened really kind of early Monday. She was 92, so this was not an unexpected development, though.
Oh, I think we did speak about this, haven't we?
I think she had not yet passed during last week's show because that happened on Monday. So,
okay.
But other than that, everything is fine. We had.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We had American Thanksgiving a few days prior to that, and during those festivities, I consumed approximately half a bottle of bourbon and felt like shit for 2 days. So
yeah, we did speak about this.
Quality over quantity was not a rule that was observed that evening.
And what's involved in a American Thanksgiving food-wise?
So we had ham and turkey and a variety of side dishes. My wife made pecan pie, which is tremendous.
Wow, yeah.
Pecan pie is really good. There was other things that were good too. I made mac and cheese, which went over well because it was very good mac and cheese. So,
and what kind of cheese did you use?
It was 5 cheese mac and cheese.
Nice.
Good. With sharp cheddar. One of the cheeses is actually Velveeta, which is there to help with the emulsion. So the cheese sauce does not break. I'm not that crazy about Velveeta, but it's good for this particular purpose. Incidentally, it was probably about a fifth of the total cheese content. About half of it was sharp cheddar, and I forget what other. I think I had some Gruyere in there and some other stuff. So Velveeta is a cheese food. So it contains. I'm not even sure Velveeta contains cheese. American cheese actually contains cheese, but it is not necessarily cheese. Yes, exactly. Helps with texture.
Let me answer a question by Charles Latorre concerning my computer. No, okay. Charles, my computer is effed. Screw it. I gotta get a new one. I'm on the lookout for a new one, and we're talking about savings of $700. We're talking still $1,200. So I have to dish out $1,200. The show was done. It's in the can, ready to go. No rendering. I tried everything.
That sucks. So I hate, as I told Dan before the show, I hate buying computers. That's why I didn't buy a new computer. I instead uninstalled Windows and installed Linux, and everything is working groovy so far. So, but that's not necessarily an option to Dan. So here's what you do when your Mac breaks. Okay, in a Windows, you might get some technical support, or you blah 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 blah. You have a number of options. You could check the Windows logs for unspecified errors that you didn't see. There's all kinds of strategies you can implement. If your Mac breaks, you throw it in the dumpster and go buy a new one.
Well,
that's the Apple tradition right there.
Did you see that commercial where Mac is coming out with a new computer and this and that, and there's a new connection, and the guy says, "Hi, blah blah blah," in the Macintosh type filming, "Hi, we've developed a new computer, and yes, we have a new a connection. Why? Fuck you."
I don't know. I don't know that.
I don't give a shit.
I have occasionally engaged in baiting of the little rivalry between PC people and Mac people, but the hardware is quality hardware. Their operating system is pretty high quality operating.
Yeah, you pay for it, though, man.
And if you like. If that's your operating system that you're used to, it's trivial to just buy the computer and everything works. That's kind of Apple's thing. It just works, and there you go.
Christ, I just bought the computer
in 1987.
Actually, maybe it's 3-4 years. Yeah. But a computer should last longer than 3-4 years.
In my opinion, a computer, it depends what you use the computer for. If you are playing like the top of the line video games, then you probably need to replace the computer every 2 to 3 years. if you are doing less graphics intensive work, you probably can get 5, 6, 7 years out of a computer, and you should. Frankly, I don't know about Max. That's the good thing.
Well, yeah, no, you can
up to breaks. I've had all kinds of weird problems happen. Where one time I heard a pop and smelled something burning, and it was a capacitor on the graphics card that had exploded. So
no, I've never had that.
Yeah. So that if that breaks, you take it back. If it's under warranty, and Mac has a warranty, you take it back and they fix it. Or if necessary, you ship it back to Apple and they fix it and you get it back in a month. That is not a thing I could accommodate for.
You're lucky if you get it back in a month. But anyways, okay.
Anyway, our topic tonight is building a war game library. Dan, did you have a strategy? Was there like a particular designer that you decided you needed all their games? Or I know you don't have all of John Butterfield's games, though.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Oh, do you have this bad boy, this timeless classic right here for Mr. Butterfield?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. This is game designed by Mr. John Butterfield. This is 1981, and it is SPI's role-playing sci-fi game. It's got some good ideas in it, but it's not super duper playable.
No, I would just get it. Because it's John Butterfield.
So. Oh, Max totally break. They're just, if you're under warranty, you've got recourse. If they're not, then
they break. Trust me.
Yeah. So anyway, Linux, by the way, continues to work. I won't say flawlessly, but swimmingly. Every problem I have had has been weird and minor. For example, I don't understand why this is the case. The delete and backspace keys don't work in Obsidian when I'm editing a file name. They work at other times. I have no idea what would cause this problem, but I'm working around it at the moment. It's just a kind of a real weird, goofy thing. So,
hey, Artie, look at the Perfidious Albion's comment. If he was building a wargame library, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say if you're going by era, I find that a little bit restrictive, because if you're going by era and you're really into the era, but then a John Butterfield game pops up, I don't know, called Ambush or whatever John Butterfield game, you're going to want to go there, and now you've just broke your streak.
Well, then you're not going by era, then, are you? I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? And usually people pick a theme or a designer or a design. If somebody like played, I don't know, Here I Stand and really gets into CDGs, you could start there, for example. So
I see that happen. I see that happen.
Different ways to approach it. I don't really feel like I had a wargame library until I got back into wargaming. Even like back in the 90s when I had, 30, 40 wargames, something like that. Now I got 300 or 400 wargames and I'm fucking buried in wargames. But until I got back in, my life was in a different place when I got back in too. Bear that in mind. So. Or at least eventually it did. And I, slowly over the course of 10 or 12 or whatever it's been years, picked up a lot of war games. I went out of my way, for example, to get all the OCS games, even the ones that have been nominally obsoleted by newer products. So
you were hunting for
I mean, I wasn't willing to pay a pile of money for something like Guderian's Blitzkrieg 1, the original, for example, because it's not really playable with the new rules. It's to me, it's kind of a curiosity these days, but I wanted to have it, and I was able to pick up a copy for like $40 or something like that. I paid more for Hubis Pocket, which I shouldn't have, but it was like, I don't know, $100, something like that. So any collection of any size collection can be considered a wargame library. I would say this. There are people, floating around on the wargame groups on Facebook and stuff like that. They're saying, hey, I just got into wargaming like last year. Here's my wargame library. And it'd be like 5 games. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Back in the day, I had 2 games, Paratroop and the China War. And that was all I got for a number of years. So.
Yeah, but maybe he's asking the question that should not be asked. You know what I'm saying?
What is that?
Like, what is a war game? Maybe he's making.
Oh, well, that's not tonight's topic, is it? We had that as a topic, Dan, and as you recall, we came to the definitive solution of that question. So go watch that video if that is a question that you are wondering
Well,
about.
It's I agree to disagree type question answer.
Well, you agree or disagree all you want. We're talking about other stuff tonight. Jeff Beeler says that his early Wargame collection was based on games he could find for sale in stores. This is absolutely a factor for those who got started with this process back in the days before the internet. And you had, I mean, that was how you got stuff, unless you mail ordered the stuff from the publisher, right? Or from the relatively small number of mail order retailers. That number got bigger and bigger as time went on. And then the internet happened and people started buying games on the internet. And now there's a million different sources you can pursue. For you can buy direct. I like to buy direct from the publishers for the most part, but there's plenty of stuff that I don't too. So,
you know, I have to correct myself because Charles Latour just said he started as an Avalon Hill collector. Well, I remember, so did I.
So from a library standpoint, I guess I guess I probably began the library originally with Avalon Hill as well. I probably had about 10 to 15 Avalon Hill games by about 2000, something like that. And after that, I don't remember exactly when at this point, but after that, I dumped a bunch of stuff. I kept a few things, some of which I still have. Some other of which I bought again, like the East Front series and stuff like that. Somebody said before the show even started, back in the day, that first of all, Rob Taylor, my wife, says exactly the same thing. Well, you're doing a show, I'm gonna go somewhere else and do something different. So I probably started with Avalon Hill 2. And back in the day, as Dave Poirier mentions, there were two choices for the most part. There was Avalon Hill and there was SPI. However, when I started going to the local hobby store that carried like real games, and not like Scrabble and Monopoly, they had some Task Force game stuff. This particular store, this was I can't remember the name of the store, but it was located at Midway Mall in Elyria, Ohio. And Hobby Center Toys, I think, was the name of it. And there was a chain that closed. And actually, the game store I ended up going to several years later actually bought a lot of their inventory when they closed. But they had Task Force game stuff, mostly Starfleet Battles. They had some West End games, war games. I remember seeing both Imperium, Romanum, and Druid there. Druid always sounded intriguing, but the game does not have a fabulous reputation. And it is a Richard Berg design, and that's a topic Berg returned to a couple of times.
Meandering Mike, it sounds obscene what he's saying, but I totally understand it. And if I totally understand Meandering Mike, who's in his cave of insanity, has billions of games, are we fucked?
Billions and billions.
Are we screwed? Are we screwed? Like, what's the matter with us? Mike and me and whoever. Why would we?
Everybody's got a hobby. Well, not everybody's got a hobby, but if one considers the term hobby kind of broadly to include things like watching football games and stuff like that. No. I mean, you can't go to a NFL football game without spending more than you'd spend on a war game. So, or your average war game anyway. So, are we like spending more money or spending more time than people who do those things or play golf? Golf's real expensive. I mean, I think golf's fairly expensive. So, what's the difference?
My nemesis, Danny Seckery. Why would you collect 500,000 baseball cards? I know, but is that what kind of tick is that?
I mean, I'm reluctant to call something like that weird or indicative of some kind of terminal personality disorder, because I'm doing it too. That's why. So, but also, lots of people have interests that aren't just the kids and work and the spouse. So, how do you express those interests? We, interested in war games, are, we buy war games and create things that then we talk about on the internet as war game libraries. So, oh yeah, Ken. Oh, I didn't know that. They actually had already sold Danny Gable. Kenmore Comics was a very good I don't know about comic store, because by the time I started going there, it was not particularly local to me. It was a bit of a haul. So oh great, thank you, dear. That was my lovely wife bringing me lovely, it looks like Mr. Hero, and
that's incredible. You're blessed.
I am blessed that my woman brings me Mr. Hero.
You're blessed
in the middle of broadcasting. Anyway, right. So Kenmore Comics was a very good game store, in addition to being what looked to me like a pretty good comic store, although I wouldn't really know. And they had stopped doing business in games several years ago. Their games were all what they had, which was actually a fairly respectable collection of GMT stuff. Got bought by a place called Nine Realms Comics and Games in Mogador. Not Mogador. Montrose. It's in Montrose. There's a shopping center at the corner of Cleveland, Massillon Road and Route 18, and it's in there. And it's not bad, but they've got it's a little store, I think, that mostly concentrates on comics. So Kenmore Comics, RIP, man. They were around for a very long time.
Well, standard, our go-to store downtown Montreal is the Le Valet de Coeur, the Joker of Hearts, and it has not changed. It has it kept its war game catalog massive, and this place is you can get anything. You get models, you get this, and it's, you wouldn't think it's that big, but it's that big.
Hey, Stonewall 435 says golf is his career. Wargame hobby can be way more expensive. Well, that is the trick, right? You decide how much money you're going to spend on any particular hobby, and you can golf economically if you want to pinch pennies at it too.
Yeah, but hold on. But you always want that driver, the new driver that you got. Come on, Stonewall, give me a break. A driver costs what? $2-3 grand, a top of the line driver.
It depends on. It depends on how serious you are, right? There are people who don't play that many war games, even people who might play a lot of other games like video games or other board games or Euros or what have you. So Dale Brady's building his war game library using Billy bookcases from IKEA. Billy bookcases are a pretty good solution. I have a lot of Kallaxes, which they have their faults as a storage system. But they're very good for general board games. A little less good for war games, in my opinion, because of the amount of wasted space with the dividers and the really thick side walls of the Kallax.
You can shove them 2 in deep.
I hate to do that. You can. I know. I do have that for a couple of things that are kind of tucked in the back. But I prefer not to do that because I like to be able to find things and not remember 3 years. This has happened not that long ago. Find a bunch of 5th edition D&D stuff that was stuffed in the back that I didn't remember that I had. Fortunately, I stopped buying it by then, so I didn't double myself up on anything.
I had 7 Kallax shelves doubled before I sold the house, man.
That's a lot. Actually.
That's a lot.
Sure. I mean, how big were the Kallaxes? Were they the 5x5s or the 4x4s?
No, the 8.
8. So the 2x4s.
2x4. I dated a girl who was a 2x4.
No, I understand what you're saying. And all this, I got you can actually see down there that shelf is just 2 Kallaxes, a 4x4 and a 2x4. That is that wall, and it just happens to fit really perfectly. And Kallaxes, if they are secured to the wall and you don't do anything stupid like stab them in the side with a nice
secured to the wall, I never secured them.
I think they're actually quite flimsy if you don't secure them to the wall. But what you have, they're really very sturdy and will support quite a lot of weight. I would estimate that there's many hundreds of pounds of RPG books on this thing, for example. And you can see the define Walmart shelving that's bowing in the middle. But on the other hand, these things cost $20. I've got some more of them somewhere. or one more of them, and I've had it for like almost 20 years at this, probably 15 years at this point, and haven't fallen apart yet. So they were on sale at Walmart at that point. This is true. Perfidious Albion mentions that a lot of stores that got started as primarily wargaming stores turned into more broader game stores after a while, carrying role-playing games and stuff like that. And some that survive are now just comic book stores. And that's kind of what Kenmore Comics in Akron was trying to do.
Hey, Stigler's in the house, man. And he's
Stigler is in the house. How about that? Who was it that mentioned Kenmore Comics? Because I remember the Akron game store that I used to go to, which was the Little Shop of War. That was a pretty cool store, and I ended up picking up a number of interesting things from that store. That's been gone for ages. So
I think there's a discussion happening between golf expenses and wargame expenses. I think golf expenses far exceed.
They can. I mean, again, it's possible to just go to the city golf course and, not pay country club fees and buy it.
Jesus.
I had an opportunity at one point when we were liberating some objects from my now ex-brother-in-law to grab his golf clubs, and I actually slightly regretted not grabbing the golf clubs. They were probably not, I could probably sell a set of golf clubs for like, I don't know, $100. Cheap random golf clubs. I don't know. Maybe they were good golf clubs for all I know. I have no idea. I've never taken any interest in golf whatsoever.
Look at Stonewall. He says Case Blue is the equivalent of a round at Pebble Beach. Well, that's something.
Yeah, there you go. He can outfit a beginner with used equipment for under $200. I find this completely believable. And with any hobby, you could find bargains, and you could spend till you have driven yourself into the poorhouse. Case Blue will cost at $1,200 a pop. Will cost the equivalent of a round at Pebble Beach. I didn't know that that's about what a round at Pebble Beach cost, but now I know. So thank you.
Stigler, you make a good point. And yes, and that's just 4 or 5 hours of playing. That's it. It's done. But you still have that game, man. Case Blue, and you could play for eons.
That's until you lose pieces, in which case, like me, unless, of course, I didn't lose the pieces. But
and I'm not trying to shit on Stonewall. I'm just having a guess.
No. Well, I'm not taking it that way. Hopefully, no, Stonewall isn't either.
Stonewall, you're in an elitist game. I mean, don't you want to not buy the discount bargain bin? Don't you want to have the best? I don't know, what is it called? Wilkinson.
The same thing applies to war games, though. We've got plenty of elitism in wargaming too, and there's elitism in RPGs, and I haven't seen it because I don't care. But there's probably elitism in the world of Euros too. I just don't know. So
I'm sure.
I don't care. But, Mike Berticelli, thanks for stopping by. He cites Seville Classics ultra durable heavy duty NSF solid steel wire rack storage or unit organizer for garage, warehouse, restaurant, office class, whatever. I don't know if that's expensive or not. 48 by 18.
Mike, tell us how much you paid for it.
Actually, this sounds like the kind of racking you might find in a hardware store, to be completely honest. Oh, wow. Astrophotography. Yeah, no kidding. To do astrophotography,
I know, man.
Seriously, but starting out, yes, you could start with a $100 telescope and a $100 camera.
No.
But to do it seriously, even at the entry level, you're going to spend a couple grand on the telescope and probably at least $1 grand on the camera. So there,
And Danny, is your setup an average setup at, I'm going to round it up, at 20 G's?
I have seen, probably not.
Probably not.
I would think, I don't know. But I mean, I have seen like just average people, not professional astronomers, just people with an interest in backyard astronomy with, 12-inch reflectors and sheds with like folding roofs so they could slide the roof off.
Yeah.
and you've got the the tracking device.
That's what I'm asking Danny.
The sky rotates. So yeah, I mean, he will provide you with more
Now,
details.
can you get that for 20 G's? What he's saying? I don't think so.
I'm not sure you could get the shed for 20 grand. To be
For
honest.
God's sake,
Definitely not 20 grand Canadian.
But it's a beautiful hobby, if you can afford it.
It's my great. I am satisfied to go look at the astronomy picture of the day. Thank you very much, and let somebody else take the picture.
Yeah, I guess.
If I'm buying a camera, it's going to be a camera for this channel and not a camera for astrophotography, unless I hit the mega millions, in which case I will hire somebody to fucking build it for me, and then I will go use it once.
And program it for me, too.
Right.
I forgot what I was going to say. Look at that, huh? I'm sure it's a great hobby. Absolutely, absolutely.
It's okay. Yeah, Danny says I'll trust his numbers more than my completely numbers.
$7 grand
directly from the inside of my ass. 4 to 7 grand. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. So
$7 grand.
I mean, you can keep the telescope in the house too and take it out when you want to go outside. You don't need a dedicated observatory.
So but you're gonna take out the telescope and a case of beer at the same time. Ta-da!
Jem Beeler says other expensive hobby is going to literary science fiction conventions. It's mostly disappeared or gotten really expensive. Those, so I have not been to many science fiction conventions, once or twice, but they were quite expensive as I recall. And just looking at like events, like $200-300 just to walk in the door.
Seriously?
Yeah. So in some case, I mean, I'm sure they're not all that expensive, but in some cases they absolutely are. I first personally, Stonewall says that he'll basically buy any BCS, same with GCACW, and I'm a big fan and follower of both series. So these are two of the annoyingly large number of series where I feel like I have to keep up with the new stuff. Fortunately, some of those series do not actually issue a new game every single year, so I can kind of pick up a game once or twice, every 2 or 3 years. So
no, those are great series, man. I mean, especially GCACW there, just fantastic.
Yeah, and great. GBACW is another series that I'm following faithfully. I have played. I think I've played about the same amount of GBACW versus GCAW, even though I started playing GC Great Campaigns several years before I looked at GBACW. But one of the first things that I picked up when I got back into wargaming, which is before the GCACW hit me, was actually Twin Peaks, which is Cedar Mountain and South Mountain, which might get redone, actually. I don't know. It would be kind of interesting if it was, but I'm kind of comfortable with it. I think a revised version of South Mountain or possibly Cedar Mountain.
Who's the main designer of those GB series?
Richard Berg. Initiated the series while at SPI, and then evolved it by the time it hit GMT. And the GMT version of the system is significantly different, I would say, from the SPI version. It's a chit pull game now, for example, where the chit in a big battle, it depends, but in the big battle, you might have 80 chits in the cup for a specific turn.
Yes, Molotov.
I have never paid a single now worthless penny for an autograph, and I have no intention of ever doing so. I'm not an autograph seeker. I have.
Well, it's nice to have your rule book signed by a guy like Mark Herman.
I think that's cool. That never even occurs to me, though.
I know, but it's cool to have
signed. I don't think about it. I happen to have stumbled across a signed copy, signed by Mark Miller, of Traveler 5th edition. That was just a random Noble Knight purchase, and apparently Noble Knight didn't notice, and I didn't, or maybe they did, and the price was good. So it was like, I don't know, $75, but it's an enormous book. I've got some of the, at least one of the the reprint Traveler items signed by Mark, but that was like bought from Mark, and Mark handed me the book at Origins many years ago.
Yeah.
And I've got M.A.R. Barker's autograph, shamefully enough, at this point.
No, it's cool to have your rule book signed when you see them at conventions or not.
Not once did I ask Gary Gygax to sign anything.
You shoulda.
Well, yeah, clearly. Well, Gary signed a lot of stuff, but
Yeah, shut up.
I don't know that it's a value thing. It's that I don't have a
God,
particular notion that an autograph thing is necessarily valuable. I don't know.
look, Artie, my daughter came to help me clean my house, which I'm grateful for, but blasphemy. Look where she put the broom. I mean, right on Charles Roberts.
Right on Charlie Roberts
I
Award.
mean, and
That is blasphemous. I will concur.
And you know what, Artie? Look what I got. It was given to me, obviously. I'm honored.
Yeah, I know.
You see what I mean? A signed book by Mark Herman, a signed rule book. Mike Herman, Herman Lutman signed a few. I mean,
I am not inclined to say that there is no value in an autographed item, but the reason it is autographed is that Mark's. Now he's in a rage. He's going to flip the desk any second now.
I'm flipping it.
Lots of people do like to have autographed things, and it means something to them, as having something signed by Mark Herman means to you.
And look, Jeff Beeler. And Jeff, how would it be if you did have a beer and lunch with the person and you still autographed your bloody, I don't know why I'm looking up here. You still autographed your bloody rule book.
You know how many freaking times I have met David Thompson at conventions and not asked for an autograph because I didn't think of it? I just never think of this.
And the thing is, David Thompson is not the type of guy once you meet him, because he's so down to earth.
It's like, sure, give me $50. Yeah, you can just picture that coming from David, can't you? You cannot. David would never do that. He would just be happy. Oh, that's great. And he would sign it because he's a wonderful
I'd
guy.
have him sign my chest.
So, and then get a tattoo over it. People have done that. That's the kind of thing you do.
I did that. Anyways.
I do, now that I have a couple of signed things from Mark Miller, I do value them because I've met Mark. I think Mark is a great guy. I held him in the highest regards, not just for Traveler. I think he's just a fabulous human being.
Yeah.
And he was, I hate talking about this, but Mark was, a person that helped me out at one point with the Charles S. Roberts Awards. So
the guy is, he's,
yeah. So,
well, hold on. He's so revered, but he's so down to earth and friendly. It's almost disarmed. You know the word I'm trying to say.
Unfortunately, George is better at hanging out than he is at writing his friggin' book. So,
well, George, whatever. Yeah, you get a
sure. Giant of the hobby. So, Midi Doctors, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, I read a comment about a violin, $25,000 or more. At 25 G's, you're not a serious violin player.
Okay.
Seriously. And the thing is, the bow does not come with the violin. The bow could be an extra $50,000 or something like that.
Okay. Well, there's another hobby I won't be taking up.
Yeah, well,
in my advanced years, my wife asked me, so if you had all the time you wanted, because we hit the Powerball, we were fantasizing about this on a card rack.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Point. So what additional hobby are you going to pick up? And I told her I'd probably learn to play the drums. So I have looked at Craigslist for drum kits. They're several $100s even for used ones. So I'm like, well, I guess barring the lottery.
When you listen to music, does your ear go to the drums or to the rhythm section? And
drums or bass. That's where my ears go.
Okay, so you're a rhythm section guy. Okay, so get a set of drums.
Yeah. So, and I had a great time playing the drums in Rock Band, by the way. I wasn't particularly good at it, but you're not playing the real song playing Rock Band either. So
get an electric set, by the way.
Timon has a number of signed copies by SF authors, including Edmund Hamilton and Leigh Brackett. Wow. Those must be difficult to acquire at this point. Leigh Brackett did indeed write several movies for Howard Hawks, including Rio Bravo and Rio Lobo. I didn't know about Hatari, maybe not El Dorado. Also wrote science fiction back in the day and wrote the original screenplay that's not quite the one that got filmed for The Empire Strikes Back, by the way. I'm sure Timon knows that if he knows about Leigh Brackett at all.
What about Francis Ford Coppola? Didn't he have a big hand in Star Wars?
No.
some
George Lucas?
known. Nah, man, it was somebody else. Who wrote the screenplay to Star Wars, man?
George
That guy.
wrote the screenplay to start, but he had help. I mean, when you see, screenplay by George Lucas in the credits, that does not mean he was the only writer involved. Okay, typically there's a lot of stages where you make adjustments and fix things up, and other people have a hand in stuff like that may or may not ever get credited. I do have some degree of hope that George will finish it, but now he's got the elephant that is the last 2 seasons of the TV show on his chest too. So he does really has kind of been handed a shitty situation.
I want to answer Molotov Teal's no bow with the violin. What the F? No. And no.
Well, I would imagine there's not much point in buying a fancy violin if you don't buy a fancy bow to go along with it. So,
well, the thing is that it's like when you buy an expensive motorcycle, you get the helmet with it. No. And who did the helmet? Who did the violin? Where did the snot from the resin come from? I played with a solo violinist from Poland. He had a Guarnieri, and a Guarnieri is over $1 million. And I forgot to ask him how much his bow was, because if the Guarnieri is over $1 million, his bow must be easily 500 grand. Easy.
I have a crossbow.
Yeah. Hey, they got expensive crossbows, man.
My crossbow is really mine is a medieval crossbow, and it was several $100s as a Christmas present, actually, from my beautiful and talented wife. So Jack Williamson, man, that guy was around forever too. He passed away not that recently. I don't know that I've met that many sci-fi authors. However, I have met I think other than people that everybody's heard of, like Mark Herman. Okay. I mean, I've met Mark. Mark has a book now and has participated in other books. The authors, sci-fi authors that I have met, no one would ever have heard of. Although I guess Jeff might. Oh, Jeff. Yeah, you do know who Marie Vibert is. And she's a friend of mine, actually. We were Scadians together back in the Barony of the Cleflins back in the day. She's still up there. I'm not in the Cleflins anymore and haven't participated in that activity for a number of years. But I'm still friends with a bunch of those people.
I don't know her, but is she a well-known author?
I wouldn't say so, but she's written. I've got her book. She's written 2 novels actually now, and a bunch of short stories that she's had published. So, look at that! Got one up on me, Perigee. How about that?
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh man, are you kidding?
I am aware that Jeff Landis does work for NASA Glenn in Cleveland, but I have not met him. Marie has, I know that. I ran into Marie's husband at completely random in Columbus, where he does not live. Actually, that was a weird situation. But
Artie, I keep thinking back to your Gary Gygax. If you had the first edition Dungeons and Dragons with his signature on it, or both authors' signatures, you would be proud of that.
Yeah, I can tell you that if you have a first printing brown box D&D, it's worth at least 50 grand.
Oh, Jesus!
Yeah, at least 50 grand.
Oh man!
You get the first pick of asking me for an autograph, dickhead. Thanks so much.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. But
I do need to get. I actually have resumed searching for a vendor for merch, so that is on the list of things to do that should get resolved soonish.
Are you going to do a CHIT show merch thing?
It never occurred to me, but I should.
Well, maybe
I'm a dipshit, Dan. I got to tell you, I'm not this incredible genius.
We can talk about it, I
have a fabulous. Well, yeah, no, it's a great idea. I just okay. I just never thought of it. That's all. So I met John Scalzi, who also lives in Ohio, by the way. He's somewhere in southern Ohio. I've never met anybody met anybody this famous, but I did see Billy D. Williams in the airport once coming home from Gen Con. And me and my buddies, also coming home from Gen Con, made a bit of a fuss over because he wasn't that close to us. Okay, he's like walking down the terminal hallway, and we're sitting in seats back here, and we're like, "Oh, Billy D!" Because we were so charmed to have seen Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. I like Billy D. You know, passed. He passed.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, he was in the last Star Wars. I think that was the last Return of Skywalker or whatever it was. The last Star Wars movie that was not very good. But one of the charming things is that Lando's back, and they even got Wedge to show up for a cameo, even though the actor like hates Star Wars and didn't want anything to do with it. They decided to make it worth his while. So good for him.
Hey, Han 644 new, you met Ella Fitzgerald. Now, that's something.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's something, man. I mean, I used to be a professional musician, and I met a lot of famous people. But Ella Fitzgerald is not famous. She's like Einstein.
Ella Fitzgerald is iconic rather than merely famous. Okay.
You're meeting someone who channels music and expresses it like no other, man.
Like not Beyonce. How about that? Jeff got to meet Dean, which is pretty awesome.
Yes.
I am positive that in fact, I know I had met Dean. I had met Dean, said hello, said a few words to at the old Gamers booth at Origins back in the day. I am fortunate enough to have had some encounters with Dean in recent years, and I am glad that I did. So, because he is no longer with us either.
You know, hon, you put tears in my eyes when you said that.
So, I have an eye. Back to Wargame libraries. I'm kind of if I see a Dean Essig design or a Dean Essig series design, even if
you pick it up, man.
Game designer at a good price, I will tend to pick that up.
Yeah,
because I think Dean, like a number of other people, Dean and Mark Herman, and for me anyway, even Richard Berg. That are almost always have something interesting to say in the game that they are selling you. So it's worthwhile from that perspective. Excellent. The late David Drake, Harry Turtledove's still kicking it. He thumbs up a post of mine on Blue Sky. Actually, it was a reply to one of his posts, but still.
No, great day. I never met Jaco Pastorius. I never saw him live. And I mean, Joni Mitchell came to town with her Shadow and Light tour, and there was Pat Metheny on guitar, Lyle Mays on keyboards, Jaco Pastorius on bass, Michael, the sax player, one of my favorite, Michael Brecker as a sax player, Don Elias as a drummer. Jesus Christ! I didn't go see it. I think I was in Italy or something.
Well, that's not bueno.
Unbelievable.
Stonewall was supposed to tour. Rick Barber for years was one of the tour guides at Gettysburg. It's how he knew the battlefield like the back of his hand.
That's another guy.
And he unfortunately is not with us anymore Barber, either. Man. I have to be content to have kind of a lot of Barber's work in Wargame cartography. I have not tried to be completist about that or anything. If I was completist about it, I'd go pick up Summer Storm, which was designed by him as well.
Rick Barber, for me, is a legendary map designer.
So, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we could probably get a show out of great Wargame map artists to be fair.
Who was the guy who took over when Rick Barber died to do the Herman Lettman? Was it 3 days or the Chancellorsville? The new one there.
It was Blind Swords. Unfortunately, I'm going to be an asshole and not remember his name. But he's doing pretty good work too.
And wasn't it Joe Youst? No, it wasn't Joe Youst.
No, it definitely was not Joe Youst. I like Joe as a map artist as well. To be
Yes.
honest. His Goss maps are marvels of detail, and for a long time, there's a good chance if you own any Decision Games product that Joe did the map. He doesn't do the map for everything, but it's probably good half, I would say.
It's not
Jose
Charlie.
Farah,
No, it wasn't him. It wasn't Charlie Keebler. It was someone we knew. We know this name.
I don't know. I mean, if worst case, I could go grab one, but they're in a pile. Every Blind Swords game beyond the first 6 is in a pile somewhere and not organized, so I'm not going to do that. I've met David too. David's a nice guy.
Someone must know in the comments who the designer was. Yeah, Terry Leeds is great too, man.
Terry Leeds is really good, and I was like. I was like marveling at the map for Liberty or Death, and I was like, wow, this map is amazingly gorgeous. Who's this Terry Heath kid? He's a real talent. He's been doing stuff for years by that point and has done more stuff since then. So that shame on me for not knowing that. But hey, you learn new stuff. I don't know everything. Oh, excellent.
I haven't seen a Terry Leeds in a while. A map by Terry Leeds.
I know he's doing stuff though, so GMT's got him busy. So I know he's got maps in the pipeline from GMT, if nothing else. So off the top of my head, without looking anything up, Chris Yap's first claim to fame is seeing Rush play at his Toronto high school in 1975. So have you heard, Dan, that Rush will be doing a tour next year?
Yes, I know, and I know the drummer, not personally, but she's an acquaintance of mine. I forget her freaking name. Unbelievable.
Annika something. I think
Annika. And
like and she's coming to Cleveland. It would be lame if Rush didn't come to Cleveland because
but I'll tell you something.
Cleveland is where Rush got broken open. I mean, that's where they had made their big splash when WMMS started playing it back in the day.
Go buy tickets now, Artie. Go buy tickets.
I've seen Rush in concert. My experience is complete.
But you know what tickets cost?
No, I didn't check actually.
No, in Montreal, $1,000.
So the most expensive concert tickets I've ever bought were, oddly enough, the last concert I went to, which was Weird Al Yankovic, about September, I think that was. And that 2 tickets cost me something like $450 for that. Admittedly, we had excellent seats. But
$450 for 2 tickets for Weird Al Yankovic. Look, I'm sure it was
packed. There was like people. I ran into gaming buddies of mine in the pavilion at Blossom. I was
look. I'm sure it was
6 seats away.
I'm sure it was an incredible show. I'm not dissing a show. I'm just dissing a price because man, he must have had a big outfit to ask for that money, man.
Well, he puts on a great show. I had a fantastic
I'm
time.
sure.
My wife is a much bigger Weird Al fan than I am. But nobody dislikes Weird Al Yankovic. You have to be a weirdo to dislike actively. There's probably other examples. I have never encountered anybody that didn't like Tom Petty, for example. Didn't really matter what kind of music they listened to. Oh yeah, Tom Petty's good. Tom
Petty's damn good.
Yeah, Danny Gilbel has seen Rush several times. I could That's fantastic. Oh, Rush was Canadian. There you go.
Well, Jesus. And you're going to see Rush for one night. Yeah, you're going to have the memories. But if you're a violinist, screw Rush.
No, I stopped when I was almost every year Neil Young would come to town and play. Okay, and I would go every year, right? For 8 years in a row or something like that. Then he got back together with Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and there was going to be a CSNY tour in Cleveland, and it was going to be at, I don't know what the goddamn place is called now, because every 10 years, some new rich person will buy their naming rights. But it was, at the time, it was this Cleveland State's brand new basketball facility. So it was a nice facility. I saw Jethro Tull at that facility too.
I love Jethro Tull.
And I looked at the tickets, and they're like, and this is like 25 years ago. They're like $250 for like seats in the rafters. I'm like, no. no. I am priced out of concerts. I'm priced out of baseball games. These things simply cost more than I am willing to pay nowadays. So I want to watch the baseball game. I'll watch it on television or listen to the radio.
You know, I agree with Stigler when he says, no way I pay that much for Rush without Neil Peart. I understand 100%. It's the nostalgic thing you want. You want the core three members, just like Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin did the best thing. It's over.
Well, they've kind of, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant have gotten back together with Jason Bonham, for example.
Oh no, it's over. It's not Led Zeppelin.
And this is kind of that thing. I'm not wetting the blanket on anybody that's going to this thing. Good for them. I have seen Rush in concert. I am okay. I will tell you that the opening act was Eric Johnson.
I know that.
Who is amazing. Yeah, you do. You've heard clips of Dover, if nothing else. Not Yngwie Malmsteen. But Eric Johnson is an amazingly talented guitarist, and that's a really good album, actually. I've got the album. And Neil Peart, I don't know if Neil Peart was the best rock drummer of all time or not. What I can tell you is that Neil Peart is the greatest rock drummer who I have personally seen. Look, there was a drum solo in that Rush concert that was just jaw-dropping.
Artie, it's like asking, what's your favorite food? You know, if I gave you your favorite food 3 times in a row, you'd hate it.
Geta is my favorite food. It's not.
You know,
I do like
it. Neil Peart was an awesome drummer. Mm. Awesome. Was he the best rock and roll drummer? That's stupid.
Well, you know, one really should take those kinds of comments like so-and-so is the greatest such and such. One should take those comments always as a starting point for a conversation rather than that person trying to definitively say that is the fact and everybody else is just a dipshit. And if they are saying it from that perspective, this is a person you don't need to talk to.
Hold on, Artie. If anybody to me would start off a sentence with that to start a conversation with that, I would just tell them you're fucking stupid. I don't want to talk to you.
Somebody was on, I forget who this was.
Well, yeah, pizza. I can eat pizza all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So the Rush tour I went to see was the Roll the Bones tour, by the way. I did buy a t-shirt. I don't have that t-shirt anymore. I don't know what happened to it. So I don't get rid of t-shirts anymore either. If they're falling apart, they get turned into kick around the house t-shirts.
Rush is a wicked band. Wicked.
Oh yeah. Wicked. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's the new Adam Lambert, who's been touring with Queen for a while now, is very much his own guy. He is very wisely not trying to sing like Freddie Mercury.
Very good.
I am in 100% agreement with Stigler here.
Yeah, well, yeah. And you know, Stigler, I saw Queen 3rd row center with their News of the World album. Oh my God.
No, that's got to have been something else.
You cannot replace Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
no way.
Totally agree with that.
No way.
Totally
it's
agree
like
with that.
Sting. It's like Sting of the Police. You can't replace him. What are you going to replace Sting?
No, well, I don't know. There's only like 3 people in the Police, so it's like you can't really replace anybody involved in the same band.
Whatever.
So Gwar.
I like Gwar.
Anyway, Gwar's a lot of fun. They're like Warhammer. The rock band.
Come on.
All right. Since we've abandoned the top, I think we got some interesting points raised on the topic of building a wargaming library. But Dan, who is your favorite rock vocalist? Male and female.
Good question.
No, your favorite. I'm not saying greatest ever. I'm saying your favorite, or your favorite today. That's perfectly acceptable.
My favorite rock vocalist today.
Yeah.
Like today, if I'm thinking today, I have a conversation and this and this and that.
Sure.
Today, with the conversation, I would say from what we were talking about, look, Freddie Mercury just kicks the aura, the command of the public. It's a show. It's his show. He commands it, and it's perfect. And with Freddie Mercury today.
Okay, cool. Female,
oh, son of a bitch, that I've seen or that I want to see. That I've seen. Ann Wilson.
Okay, easy
One
answer.
of the
Ann
greatest,
Wilson is a really good singer.
one of the greatest female vocalists, rock and roll I have
Yeah.
ever heard.
I have always also really liked Grace Slick's vocals, actually. At least in
No,
the Jefferson Airplane era. I don't know about, but
sure.
by the time they were Starship, they were producing nothing but garbage, in my opinion. So,
Hey, Alanis
oh
Morissette
yeah, from the
is a
Cranberries, very good.
great
Yep,
vocalist. Oh
yep,
yeah,
perfect singer.
fantastic, fantastic.
Beth Hart Blues, yeah. You know, well, I've not heard of this person. Let me put it that way. My taste in blues, like my taste in country, tends to be stuff created before 1960. So maybe
Wild,
1970.
Wild Willie Pee Pee.
Wow. Blind. I can't remember the guy's name now. The dude that's mentioned in Reacher, like Blind Billy or something like that, turns out to have been an actual blues man back in the day. I got to meet and have a lengthy conversation in which am not at all ashamed to admit that I fawned over him like a fanboy.
And you should have.
Robert Lockwood Jr.
Who?
Last of the old time blues men. He passed away probably 10 or 15 years ago, but he was like up to the month he died, he was playing at some blues club in Cleveland weekly. Incredible. It was ancient when I met him. So Muddy Waters, yeah. Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf and guys like that. That's the kind of blues that I like.
That's an evening.
Karen Carter turns out was a pretty good drummer.
Right? Yeah, she's incredible. And someone mentioned who was it? Obviously Sade. Besides her being beautiful, Dusty Springfield. It's funny. I was listening to her yesterday. Yes,
Dusty Springfield was a terrific singer. I really like Dusty Springfield. I believe she did some acting work on the Roseanne show at one point. I believe something like
Rob
that.
Halford.
Rob Halford of Judas Priest. Yeah.
Well, he's got talent.
Oh yeah. He's a solid metal. I mean, somebody that is like a great metal singer is not necessarily going to be a great singer of love ballads, right? So Rob Halford is a terrific metal singer.
Absolutely. Hold on a second, Joe Bonamassa. I don't know why he's not more famous than he is, because that guy, he's the guitarist.
I've been trying to get into Stevie Ray Vaughan, and indeed some Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff is very good, and he was an amazing guitarist.
Savage.
So Chrissy Hind, I'm a big fan of Chrissy Hind. And
yes, but she's not Dolores O'Riordan there. You know what I'm saying? And not at that level.
Albion, what song is this? Oh, the greatest metal guitarist of all time. There isn't a question about it being
vocalist.
Vocalist. What did I say?
Yeah, Ronnie James Dio. Yeah, you gotta love him. Period. He's like Aussie. That's it.
Well, also supposed to have been like a fabulous dude. There's anecdotes about somebody meeting Ronnie coming out of the back of the concert venue, and then like 20 years later, the guy runs into him again somewhere else, like not related to the concert, and Dio recognizes the dude and remembers his name. Supposed to have been just an incredible guy.
And yes, Stigler, Stevie Ray Vaughan, yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, no kidding. Very good. Very good. I think that I mean, I don't know that blues exists outside of blues clubs nowadays, and recording. Nobody's like a chart-topping blues artist anymore. But country has evolved in a similar way, except there is like a country music genre that like is alive today.
Yeah, but there's
the music is rubbish now.
Yeah,
some of the old country is really good.
Like some country players are stellar. Stellar.
The Carter family. I mean, Johnny Cash speaks for himself, right? But the Carter family, they did some really good stuff back in like the sister Rosetta Tharpe. Was she country? I think she was.
I know that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Malativ don't hate country. Get into start with Hank Williams, man.
Hank Williams Senior. Not junior.
Well, if you play it backwards, the dog comes back. Who's that? Who's that? The old guy. You're cheating heart. Is that the one you're talking about?
I don't know.
Ah, come on. You got me going
It's
now.
all good. It's all good. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of the new stuff. I like Elvis during the Bloated Years, too. I think he had some very good songs. I'm to answer the time-honored question of am I a Beatles guy or an Elvis guy, I'm a Beatles guy. But I like some Elvis stuff. So, I had like a greatest hits Elvis collection.
Hey, I didn't know Ken Burns did a country documentary. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that might be worth watching. And then you just stop halfway through it when the country music turns to trash. So a lot of the 70s stuff is pretty listenable, actually. I keep threatening to take my wife. The Oak Ridge Boys play monthly at the Hartville Flea Market here in Northeast Ohio.
Go see them.
I keep threatening my wife that I'm going to take her to see the Oak Ridge Boys.
You will be impressed. Go see them. Go see them. And hold on a second. There was something. Vince Ree. Vince Ree lived in Austin, Texas or something, and he saw Stevie Ray Vaughan like every week at a small club. You count yourself lucky, buddy. You count yourself lucky.
Jonathan Dyer says there were still good country acts. They just don't go anywhere Nashville or Tamworth. So my knowledge of country music does not include what the fuck Tamworth is. But I'm confident that you are right, Jonathan Dyer, that there are still good country acts, but like wine, I don't know who they are. I don't know what to look for or what to buy.
Robert Plant and the violinist, I forget her name, Alison Krauss.
I'm good. I don't need to listen to that.
No, it's good. It's really good.
All right, maybe I'll take a look at it. But I like Old Ways, which is Neil Young's straight country album. It is not a country as rock.
Whatever Neil Young does,
it's a very good album. Sold like dog shit.
Yeah. And whatever,
Yes, those Oak Ridge Boys. I don't know what the lineup looks like nowadays. I imagine it's not all the same guys. But
well, the harmonies are going to blow you away.
Well, that's why you would get hired to be in the Oak Ridge Boys, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, folks, we have had an amazing discussion tonight about music and building a war game library, but we are out of time. So I am going to let everybody go this evening. We got it on my to-do list for like tomorrow is emailing Maurice Suckling, by the way, Mike, just so you know. But we've had a great show tonight. I hope everybody had a great time. I know that I did. Dan?
Of course. Everybody. And I'm going to say something. I don't know who said Done Like Country. I forget who said it. Go listen to the Soggy Bottom Boys.
Oh, that's different. That's not a barometer of country music or whether you like it or not. That's its own thing, written and played for a specific purpose. And yeah, it is. But it is movie music done in a country style. And there's all kinds of reasons I think you shouldn't talk about that. Not that it's not good. It is. That's a good movie too. What was the movie?
I don't know, but it was good. Yeah,
I can't remember the name of the movie with George Clooney and some other people.
The vampire thing there, Dead.
No.
What am I thinking of? Oh no, wrong. Same actor, wrong film.
Oh wait. Oh, so that's not the Soggy Bottom Boys from the movie. All right, then I don't know what I'm talking about. So, Brother, Where Art Thou is the movie I'm talking about.
Yeah,
which is a sort of redneck retelling of Homer's Odyssey. Which is a fun idea, to be completely honest.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it really?
It totally is. They're doing with the eye patch and everything. I mean, no, it totally is. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, folks, we've had a great night here. Everybody have a great rest of the night. Dan is having a spasm. We have a great night, and everybody, we'll see you again soon.
Take it easy.